Please welcome to the stage, Marie Amboy.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning and welcome to day 2 of our CCCAOE Spring Conference. I hope you are all enjoying the conference thus far. I have the distinct pleasure of introducing our next speakers, Xavier Nazario and Alfredo Matthew III, who I have worked with over the last 2 years to establish pathways and access to training for Black and Brown entrepreneurs in East Oakland. Xavier Nazario was born in Salinas, California, but spent most of his childhood living in 6 different states due to his father's military career. He has a passion for travel, having visited several countries and regions around the world, as well as a passion for public service. He has held both faculty and administrative roles in higher ed, and in 2014, he was the recipient of the North Bay's 40 Under 40 Award, having also served in several community leadership positions. Currently, he serves as the Regional Director for Employer Engagement, Business, and Entrepreneurship for the Bay Area Community College Consortium, where he helps create relationships and establish pathways between businesses, entrepreneurs, and the local community colleges. Alfredo Matthew III is an experienced urban educator, nonprofit leader, and business owner with over 20 years of experience in education and business development. He began his career in New York City as a founding teacher of a New Century High School in the South Bronx, where he was awarded Teacher of the Year by the New York City Department of Education. In 2014, Alfredo led the strategic vision and programming for NFTE, the Network for Teaching Entrepreneurship, in the Bay Area, where he forged lasting relationships with school district partners, corporations, entrepreneurs, and other education nonprofit leaders. His love for entrepreneurship and career pathways ultimately led him to establish Working World LLC, a business consultancy with a special focus on early stage companies and nonprofits at the intersection of education, workforce, and entrepreneurship. Most recently, Alfredo co-founded and is a partner of ESO Ventures, an entrepreneurial support organization that is focused on increasing Black and Brown entrepreneurs and strengthening business ownership in Black and Brown communities. I am really excited to invite my friends, Alfredo Matthew III and Xavier Nazario, to the stage.
Good morning, everyone. It is a wonderful thing to see everyone's faces. I'm Xavier Nazario, and I'm Regional Director. Marie, thank you so much for that warm introduction. You dug deep on the research. I don't know how you found it, but thank you for sharing that. We are excited to be with you here this morning and to share our vision of what a public-private partnership looks like. But before we get into it, I want to give my colleague and friend, Alfredo, an opportunity to introduce himself.
Good morning, everyone. How are you feeling today? Is that how community college feels? Like, really, how does community college feel today?
That's better.
Because before I got up here, Xavier said, you're in the room with the doers in the community colleges. These are the folks who get things done. And I know it because I've had the pleasure of working with some folks like Beth Armand, like Alex Kramer, like Monty Dickinson, and of course, Marie Amboy, who I know are doers. And this would really not be possible without the vision and the partnership and the accountability that we've had from the beginning from the community colleges. So really happy to be here today.
Awesome. I have to get one thing out of the way. This is for my family. You know, I didn't know when I was going to be on stage next. So my mom bought me these socks, and purple is my daughter's favorite color. So that's to my family. It's for good luck. But yeah, let's have a conversation.
All right, let's do it. We're going to have a conversation.
Yeah. So I do want to start off by just giving a special thanks to Merritt College. I think one of the things about this initiative and this partnership and this movement is it started with a room full of people who just wanted to make a difference and make an impact. And also a special thanks to Lanice Jones at the Peralta Colleges Foundation And we'll explain why by the end of the presentation, but she has been instrumental to be innovative in allowing us to have access to the funds and doing it in a way that makes an impact in a quick manner. So I just wanted to get that out of the way. It's important to thank those that have helped us. This discussion today is a participation opportunity for you all to join the discussion. So on the screen, you see a QR code. Go ahead and get your phone out. You can go to menti.com and put in that code as well. Throughout the conversation, you'll have an opportunity to ask us questions. We have a moderator, Audrey Leibador. If you can raise your hand, she'll be
Yay, Audrey.
she'll be monitoring the questions and being able to prioritize the ones that we can answer quickly. So we hope you utilize that. And we are actually going to kick it off with an engagement activity. I'm an educator at heart, so I want to get you all involved early on. All right, who's with me? Awesome, awesome. So you have 3 visuals on your screen, and Bay Area folks, don't ruin this for the rest of the crowd. You have 3 visuals on the screen. And I just want you to take a moment and look at what you see there. And on the next screen, you're going to have an opportunity to enter on your phones 2 or 3 words that come to mind when you see that screen, when you see these visuals. All right, here we go. So what do you see? Go ahead and enter your answers into your phone. Redlining. Discrimination, absolutely. Division, yep. Districts. You all have been paying attention in your DEI conversations at your colleges. So give yourself a round of applause for that one, because this is important, what we're doing here. And what you see on this screen, I want to explain to all of you what I see when I see these maps. You're absolutely right. These are redlining maps. And this is the distinction between levels of opportunity for folks. In the green are opportunities where you have the best shot of success. You can be able to own a home. You can send your kids to college based on the home equity that you build in your home. You can start a business with that home equity, which many people do. Oftentimes you have a support network because you have other friends who live in that neighborhood who are willing to loan you money if you start a business. And so these opportunities are really black and white, or a rainbow of colors on the map. If you're in the yellow area, you have like a 50-50 chance, right? But if you're in the red area, these maps were created over 100 years ago, and they still have a lasting impact on our communities of color across the nation. You can substitute these maps for any city, and you can see the impact that's there. But this public-private partnership that started over 100 years ago was extremely intentional to give opportunity to some and restrict opportunity for many. So what we're here today, we're in a room full of doers. Alfredo stole my line. I was going to do that one.
Sorry, it was a good line.
You all are the doers at your colleges. Yes, it could be a top-down initiative from president down. Yes, it could be, faculty driven, but at the end of the day, you're the innovation engines at your college, and you have an opportunity and an obligation to be just as intentional as the people that created these maps 100 years ago. And today, what we're going to talk about is an initiative that I had that we started a couple years ago, and how we've been able to make an impact in East Oakland in partnership with Merritt College, and how we are looking at scaling that, and how we have scaled it to the regional level. So getting 6 other colleges involved. And then from there, how we can expand that to a statewide level, because that's what we're here for. We want to bring awareness to this. We're taking time out of our schedules to be able to share this, but we're doers as well. And we just want to go get it done, create the template so that we can all grow together. So I just hope you approach this discussion that I will have today with Alfredo with an open mind, This is going to be different than what you see on your community colleges right now, and we appreciate you being here today. The new California dream. The map represented people who may not know what the California dream is all about. This is new to them. Entrepreneurship, they have the hustle. The hustle is the most important thing. The energy is the most important thing. We as educators have the education. We have all of the verticals. We have all of the disciplines needed to help them be successful. But how do we bridge those two worlds? And so our mission today is to share how we are empowering Black and brown entrepreneurs and how we're doing it with intention. This all started in a coffee shop. Marie, Jason, adult education. We had Councilman Taylor at the table from District 6. I wasn't part of that conversation at the very beginning. LaSonia Hill, one of my former colleagues who was a regional director, brought me into the conversation because she said, hey, he's the business and entrepreneurship regional director, bring him in. And right away, I reflected on a conversation. Where were we when we met?
Has anyone ever been at a conference and met someone at a bar? You end up meeting the best people at the bar.
Philosophical best people.
I had been trying. I was a nonprofit director in the Bay Area, building career pathways, entrepreneurial pathways. I've been trying to get a meeting with Xavier. Didn't respond to any of my emails.
Oh, that's a lie. I respond to all
It's
emails.
true. But I showed up at the bar at a NACCE conference in Irvine, California, and lo and behold, the guy sitting next to me, skipping it. No, I'm kidding.
I was
was
hungry. So yeah. I
Was
skipped the
Xavier
session.
Nazario, the very same person I really wanted to meet, and we hit it off at that bar. We ended up flying home together back to the Bay Area. And I told my wife when I got home, I said, I made a friend at the conference, and I'm going to work with this guy one day. And we made it happen.
And the way that I work, as many of you know who have met me, when I meet someone, I put it in my memory and I think about the skills. And Alfredo had a couple skills that could be leveraged. So I thought, I want to give this guy an opportunity. He has the experience, the background. And I remember telling you there was going to be an opportunity for us to partner together. I don't know when, but be ready when it happens. And so that was the mindset. That's what I remember sitting at that table. And we were doing what administrators do. What do we do best? We talk. And we did that well. And we had the lingo and the language, and we knew what we wanted to do, but we couldn't take our words and put it into action. So that was my mindset going into this conversation. And I decided to reach out to Alfredo, and we don't have a blank piece of paper, but essentially I had $5,000 in my budget that I could give to him for a project. And the only thing that we asked Alfredo to do is look at the East Oakland community, look at Merritt College, and figure out a way to inspire entrepreneurs in East Oakland to build businesses. Because all of the things you saw on the redlining maps, crime, high unemployment, people working multiple jobs, just trying to make ends meet, these were the people we wanted to impact. So it was just a great opportunity to bring him into the conversation. And he is going to share more about where we went from there.
So to provide a little context, I came in June 1st, 2020. Who remembers, I think it was March 13th, March 20th. When was the day that the world ended? Was that March 13th?
We had a meeting in a coffee shop before that day, I'm pretty sure.
So we all, have lived through the trauma of the pandemic the last 2 years. Like everything great that came out of the pandemic, it started on Zoom, because that's the only way we could meet each other. Marie Amboy, it's a pleasure to see you. I've never met you before outside of Zoom, but that's the only tool we had. And what do entrepreneurs do? Entrepreneurs have to use whatever resources you have to get the job done, because you really don't have a choice. And when I got that $5,000 contract, I was thrilled, because I was on unemployment just before that, because I was a small business owner and I lost all of my business. Like tens and thousands and millions of entrepreneurs across the country, we got slapped, fell down, and had no idea how we were going to survive. I had no idea. I'm a former educator. My wife said, please go get a job. They're looking for teachers. And I had to ask myself, do I believe that I can survive this pandemic? And I survived. And I looked hard and I said, if I am given an opportunity, I'm going to take that opportunity and I'm going to run as fast and as hard as I can. And I'm not going to let go of that opportunity. And so when Xavier planted the seed before the pandemic happened, we had a meeting at CoBiz Richmond, and he was telling me, I think that there's really something here in East Oakland. Councilmember Taylor, Merritt College. I said, sure. A lot of people tell you that they're going to bring you in, but very few people actually follow up.
And I said, let me work on that. Just give me a week or two.
But what I love and appreciate about Xavier Nazario is he is steadfast. You can count on him. He follows through and he holds you accountable. And so Xavier brought me in and I said, and truthfully, having Merritt College there was tremendous. Having Councilmember Taylor, who basically said between the Eastmont Mall and Castlemont High School is where I used to teach, that MacArthur corridor, that is a hot corridor. I want you to focus between Eastmont Mall and Castlemont High School, 2 blocks north, 1 block south, and I want you to activate that corridor. Here's $10,000. Here's $5,000. Merritt, $10,000. $25,000, middle of the pandemic. Everyone's unemployed. No one knows what's going to happen. And we believed that we could change the world. And the first thing I did is I reached out to 2 entrepreneurs that I loved and respected, Ben Wanzo and Martha Hernandez, 2 entrepreneurs who grew up in D6, who grew up in the community, who bootstrapped and built their own enterprises. And I said, I can't do this by myself. Can we partner? Can we do this together? And we literally started meeting that first week of June, and it has only increased since. In 2 months, I basically spoke with every community-based organization, every nonprofit, every entrepreneurship-based organization. There's 300 entrepreneurial support organizations in the city of Oakland. Talk with everyone I could, talk to as many entrepreneurs as I could. We stood up a website and we launched it within 2 months. We had 150 applicants to the incubator. No one knew who we were. ESO Ventures originally stood for Eastside Oakland Ventures, ESO Ventures. And we just put it out there, got 150 applicants. We kicked off an incubator with no resources, no curriculum. All we had was Zoom. We just started meeting in small groups once a week. And over 10 weeks, the community that we built, the accountability that we built, the faces on there are entrepreneurs. We built a community so strong that our entrepreneurs said, we don't want you for 10 weeks. We need your support for the next 3 years. And it's not that we need you to do for us, we need to do for each other. Because what we found was it is the community that entrepreneurs need. Entrepreneurship is a lonely struggle. It is incredibly hard. And all of the business owners that we focused on are sole proprietors, home-based businesses who don't have employees, didn't have anywhere to go. And so our focus is helping them to become employer enterprises, helping to grow. We did it on Zoom. We got a lot of love and attention. Councilmember Taylor.
Alfredo gets going. I'm gonna keep us going.
Keep us going.
Fired up.
You'll see where we're going.
One thing I want to mention though is Merritt College at the table, and that was critical, and I can't praise that enough, because this neighborhood is just a couple blocks down the street from the college. So, if you've never been to Merritt College, it's up on the hill, and the vision was to connect with the community that surrounds you, and to serve the Black and brown entrepreneurs. So figuring out a way, and we'll talk about how we've started here and where we're headed, but to figure out a way for the colleges to leverage things like non-credit and other vehicles that they have at their disposal and within their assets, that's incredibly powerful for a community that's not used to going to your local community college. So we're going to keep it moving. All right.
We recognized very early on what we're talking about is creating generational wealth, right? And we all know that there's 3 very proven ways to create generational wealth. You can own the land, you can own a business, you can get an education. Talking to a room full of educators, you all know the power of the transformation of education. Education takes a long time. Owning the land is incredible, right? If you own the land, right, you have a resource, you have an asset, you have passive income. California, it's pretty difficult to own the land. Business ownership is the fastest way to create wealth. Owning a business doesn't mean anything when it becomes an asset, when you learn how you can leverage that asset to create wealth. Oh my God, that is a tool that can transform your family, that can transform the world. But we're not getting the job done.
Absolutely. And this goes back, tell us a little bit about the redlining maps that we saw at the beginning and what's the current situation in the Bay Area, which is similar across California.
Councilmember Taylor, D6 East Oakland is the last majority Black community in Oakland. A city that used to be 50% Black is now about 20% Black. The Black population in the Bay Area, there's a mass exodus to the Central Valley, to the South. The Black population of California has gone from 7% to 5% in the last 15 or 20 years, right? Councilmember Taylor, others in the community said, we want progress without displacement. We want development without displacement. We need to think about entrepreneurship in a new way. Entrepreneurship is not about attracting people from Ivy League colleges to come into the community, to create new businesses and move people out. How do you reach into the community, lift up the people who are already embracing entrepreneurship, but make entrepreneurship more worthwhile, make it real, make it sustainable and viable? So that's what our mission was to do.
And it's important to note that this exodus, while many Black and brown entrepreneurs and people are moving outside of California, many of them are also moving into your communities. And it's an opportunity to serve these entrepreneurs and be ready for them when they're ready to launch their businesses.
I had to do my own research to really understand, well, just how big is this racial wealth gap, right? Because we hear about it a lot. We had the racial reckoning, we had George Floyd, we lived through all of this. I had never seen this statistic. I had to put this together myself by looking at SBA data to realize that the average Black business in the United States generates $66,000 a year. The average Latino business in the United States generates $130,000 a year. The average Asian business in the United States generates $300,000 a year. The average white business in the United States generates $500,000 a year. 96% of all Black entrepreneurs in the United States are sole proprietors, a business of one earning an average of $22,000 a year. 92% of all Latino entrepreneurs in the United States are sole proprietors earning $33,000 a year. I don't know about you, but I cannot live or raise a family on $20,000 or $30,000 a year. What this demonstrates, and the difference between a sole proprietor and an employer enterprise, a company that is able to hire at least one employee, is literally hundreds of thousands of dollars. What it shows is that the vast majority of Blacks and Latinos in the United States are stuck at the infancy, the beginning stage of entrepreneurship. Have a dream, don't have the ability to take it beyond the household, don't have the ability to really formalize it. And that is why during the pandemic, the 100 entrepreneurs that we work with, 0% got a PPP loan. $900 billion deployed by the federal government into community for the pandemic, 0% in East Oakland. No one got California rebuild funding because you needed to be formalized before June of 2019. You had to have 2 years of tax returns. That was not our people. So the most they got, if they were lucky, was a $4,000 grant through CARES Act through the city of Oakland for home-based businesses. $4,000 to sustain yourself for 2 years. That contributes to that. That is public-private partnership at its worst.
Yep. Good point. Good point.
So if we want to keep this dream alive, the 45% of Californians that are Black and Latino need to have a piece of that business pie.
So tell us a little bit about SO Ventures and what they focus on in your journey so far.
One thing that we had to do was realize, where is there oversaturation? We do not need any more high-tech accelerators, incubators focused on Silicon Valley. That
It's okay to clap to that, yeah.
That's saturated. Everyone is looking for the next Google, Facebook, et cetera. But who is going to focus on the literally millions of sole proprietors who have a dream but don't have the resources, don't have the community? So that is really where we start. It is really about folks at the beginning of their journey, within their first 3 years of being a business owner. When you're a sole proprietor, you have no employees, under $100,000 in revenue. 75% of our initial cohorts had less than $25,000 of revenue. Everyone said, oh, don't work with them. Let the nonprofits do that. Don't do that. This is too much work. Wait until they have over $150,000 in revenue when they have a validated business idea. There is plenty of incubators and support once you have a validated business idea, once you can access business credit, once, right? That is the easy part. The hard part is going into community and helping people lift themselves up, and that's the hard part. And so if we weren't doing that, we would not be fulfilling the mission. And the more research we did, we said, oh my God, when President Biden talks about from the bottom up and the middle out, this is what he's talking about, but he's missing it because he's creating programs that are not reaching the vast majority of entrepreneurs. 99% of all entrepreneurs are small businesses. There's 26 million sole proprietors in the United States, over 6 million Black and Latino sole proprietors. There's 1 million Black and Latino sole proprietors in California. These are your potential students. There's 1 million business owners who need education and support. This is your pipeline.
Let me tell a story real quick. So Marie mentioned that I was a business faculty member at Santa Rosa Junior College. They're also, that's where I'm hosted as a regional director. I remember being in the classroom one day, I want to say it was a QuickBooks or an Excel class that I was teaching. And I had a young man come up to me and he says, I want to help my dad's landscaping business. You know, I want it to grow. I want us to have employees. I want it to be an asset to our family. And it still to this day sticks with me because I did not have a good answer for him as a faculty member. I could not say to him, go here. I wish at the time I had an incubator that I could point him to, that he would know that it's part of a community, that he's family. And so that is the power. Like, we have the courses, we have the ability to educate this population, but the support system and the community that's built around it is what our people need and what that demographic needs. And they don't get that in their communities because it's been disenfranchised. So it's rebuilding that, and it's making sure that they have a place where they're comfortable and they can trust the person sitting next to them and say, you're going to help me build our business. We're going to do it together and we're going to succeed. So just take a minute on this one and just, I'm not going to read it out loud. That's one of my pet peeves. Just take a moment and read this quote because I believe it's powerful. Go for it.
An invitation to the room. That's all anyone is asking for, a shot. This is Patricia Ellis, CEO of Weekend Mobile Notary, Castlemont High School graduate, Merritt College graduate. She was an admin assistant in Alameda County. She joined our cohort. We met every Thursday night, and she told us about her dream. And she shot this video.
My name is Patricia Ellis, and I am the owner of Weekend Mobile Notary in Oakland, California. I started Weekend Mobile Notary in East Oakland because I was unable to find an open mobile notary. I had to take action. So I created Weekend Mobile Notary. Our 2021 goal is to launch a national on-demand app platform to provide real-time, door-to-door appointments in all 52 states to serve over 32 million businesses. Our service saves customers time and offers convenience for customers booking at their location. You can book by phone, text, or social media outlets. I invite you to like and follow Weekend Mobile Notary on Instagram and Facebook for updates. Ask Siri to find Weekend Mobile Notary to book your next mobile notary appointment. Hey Siri, find Weekend Mobile Notary.
Let me share something. One thing that I think is beautiful about seeing that is it's raw. It's her. It's her speaking about her passion and her business. And I remember watching that for the first time, and you could tell on her face that she wants her business to be so successful that she wants it to go global. And I can't imagine before she entered into your incubator, into SO Ventures, that she had that type of vision. So hats off to SO Ventures for that.
She had the vision. She just didn't give herself permission to pursue it. What she got from just our little cohort was she got permission, as one of our other colleagues, Jerry Bailey, said, you gave me permission to bet on myself. She did everything she said in that video. She recorded that in fall of 2020. She told me, I'm going to leave my job before my birthday in March of 2021 because I'm generating enough revenue that I can be self-employed. She quit her job a month early in February of 2021 because she got connected to a business advisor through us. Someone said, I see the passion in you, helped her build an app. She invested $5,000 of her own money, built a prototype. She literally has over 7,000 notaries across the United States on her app today. She generates over $20,000 a month in revenue. This is one of two.
We wanted to invite her, but she's probably so busy that
now she's a serial entrepreneur. She's like, notary, I like notary. That's not my whole passion. That's not my whole thing. I also want to help people get jobs. She started a job placement company. She is mentoring other entrepreneurs, helping them get their things going. She's a motivational speaker. She's doing so many different things. And all she needed was permission to bet on herself. Jerry Bailey, another guy who was in there, who was a teacher at McClymonds. I know he's worked with Peralta College District. He's got Ayaba wine, sangria. He basically said that I did more in those 10 weeks than I have on my business in 3 years because I had this community of support. And so the model that we built out, Ben, Martha, and myself, as we're prototyping and flying this plane, right? Like we don't even have any gas. We don't even know what we're doing. We wanted to create not something, a one-off, because there's a lot of ways during the pandemic, you can create something and it just disappears. We wanted to create something sustainable and viable. And so we came up with this 3C model: confidence, competence, and capital. All we knew how to do was the confidence, because the confidence is just about building community and accountability. And that is truly the key to everything. We were able to build community and accountability. Why we need the community colleges is because we need your support to create the competence. The majority, none of our business owners have any formal business education. 25 to 35% have a high school diploma, another 20% an associate's degree. No one has formal business education. They're leaving different jobs and they're betting on themselves, but they don't understand the accounting and the financial side. They don't understand digital marketing. And I want you to talk about what we did around digital marketing, but that competence piece is huge. No one wants to go back to school and get a degree, but everyone wants just-in-time education so that they can take action on their business. And the last piece is capital. And I'm going to talk about capital in a minute, but we said that if all we're doing is training and we're not able to bet and invest on these entrepreneurs, we're creating dreamers and not full doers. And we actually got the capital to invest.
So one thing to note, thank you for bringing that up about our journey. At the very beginning, Mayor College wanted to serve this community because there was a disconnect that we just needed to do a better job reconnecting to the community right down the street. And one thing that SO Ventures did, and one thing that's really important to realize, and we're spending time on the model because it's important to understand the full support system. One thing that they do is really survey and question their entrepreneurs along the way and track their answers. And one of the needs that came out of the first two cohorts was the need for digital marketing. None of these businesses had leveraged video. None of them had a digital presence. None of them had a website. There were entrepreneurs in the cohort that had that, but they were startups as well. And so we were able to give that information to Merritt College and say, okay, here's a need. Here's one right in front of you. How can you continue to support them? And thankfully, we had risk takers and we had early investors in Merritt College, early college partner, and said, we will meet them where they are. We're going to provide them with a digital marketing certificate free of charge, and we're going to help them get the education they need to build their digital brand and their digital presence. So that is the power when you look at being able to create a bridge between the training, the foundational training that Alfredo and his team does, and what the formal training the community colleges offer. There's just a world of opportunities for these non-traditional learners that otherwise don't feel like they belong in our classrooms. And that is the challenge there. The challenge is to find those bridges and make them feel like they belong in our classrooms because they want to be there, they want to learn, they have the passion, but that's where we need to get to.
And so, right, I told you we didn't have any resources, but we had supporters and advisors. And one of our advisors says, you know what, the state of California should really be supporting this work. You should write legislation. We didn't know you're not supposed to write legislation. No one ever told us, hey, you can't write legislation. Ben Wanzo wrote legislation over the Christmas break of 2020, 2021. We got it endorsed by the city of Oakland. That's Councilmember Taylor. We got it endorsed by Mayor Schaaf, got it to Nancy Skinner, and we got it over the finish line. And we asked for 10 million. We were given $8 million. And you can applaud now. And that $8 million is to be the friends and family capital for our business owners that go through the incubator. So this capital, we have a relationship with Go to incubate 400 Black and brown businesses in the Bay Area and make 200 investments between $5K and $100,000. We hired Director Ashley Moreland Mizzi, ESO Capital, in the community fund right there. You can look at her right there. We stole her from JP Morgan Chase.
Brilliant mind.
And she is building financial products for our entrepreneurs that meet our entrepreneurs' needs, and we get to create our own underwriting. We get to determine who gets access to this money.
I'm giving you clues over here. You got to keep it rolling. We're running out of time. We're holding them up from lunch.
I know. So this is the model. We can explain it to you more. It's a cohort model. You finish with a portfolio, and it gets you access to capital.
And after the presentation, you can guess where you can find Alfredo.
I'll be at the bar around the corner.
We're actually going to save the questions till the end because we want to get through this. But this is a true public-private partnership. It is not just the community colleges doing the work. However, they are a key piece to success. I commend you all because every single day you go into your job. Many of you had to work through the pandemic, going in person because that's the career education world, and doing the job every single day and creating an open access institution, one of the greatest ones in the world. But my ask for you is how we can better serve these entrepreneurs, and it can't be done alone. A lot of times we're used to working within our college, working within silos. And our goal through this movement is to really break down some of those silos and to really be able to work towards a common goal. So we have other entities that are at the table, and they love the fact that the community college wants to partner in this way, but it's a matter of figuring out the coalition of the willing, getting them to talk to their colleges around them and build something great. So we're going to transition here into what we've built in the Bay Area in this short amount of time, from the coffee shop to a regional initiative. And I just want to take a moment here. I believe in giving recognition when it's due. Very early on, we presented this idea to the BACCC, Bay Area Community College Consortia, and Kit and Rock have been behind the scenes supporters of this work. And I just want to thank you for that, because this is not an individual effort. And what we believe is, if we combine all of these things, small business ownership is the way in California. 98%, 99% of businesses in California are small businesses. They're not your Elon Musk empires. They're not your Zuckerberg empires. They are people like us that build businesses, that hire their neighbors, hire their friends, hire their family. So that's how you build generational wealth. And we have an opportunity as a community college system to not only be equity engines in California, but we can also be part of being an economic driver. And we do that in many ways, but entrepreneurship is one area where we have an opportunity. So what does the ecosystem look like right now in California? It looks a little different in other states, by the way, but if anyone wants to challenge me on this one, there might be a few anomalies out there in our community college system, but for the most part, our community colleges are not part of the entrepreneurial ecosystem. We provide courses, we train, but when it comes to helping them start businesses, we say, okay, go to your SBDC. We say, we know this, this opportunity down the street. We're not really embracing the entrepreneur that SO Ventures is serving. What's ironic about that, though, is if you look at the students that, the entrepreneurs that they serve, and our target audience, or our target student, our ideal student, they look the same. 45% of Californians are Latinos now, and that's only going to grow. So how do we meet them where they are, and how do we empower them? So right now, community colleges are truly on the outside looking in. One thing I want to point out, I hate pointing this out, but four-year universities, especially private universities in California, they have alumni networks. They have entrepreneur funds for their alumni. And essentially, if you think about it from that perspective, that is the community that SO Ventures is creating. And we have an opportunity to connect that to the student entrepreneurs that we have. So what we are shooting for, what our goal is to stop having the community colleges on the outside of the conversation and be really the center of it. So that the things that happen, the SBDCs know to come to us for, to meet their quotas and to help start businesses. Philanthropy knows that the community colleges, they can take an entrepreneur and turn them into, someone that is really contributing back to their economy. And we want the colleges to be the center of that hub. Anything you want to add to that? I saw you. No? All right, let's keep it rolling. So where did this all begin? It started in the coffee shop in East Oakland. And last summer, Kit and Rock at the BACCC gave us an opportunity to get on a call with about 100 of you guys, 100 of you all. And we had an opportunity, 30, 40 minutes to share this vision of creating a regional ecosystem with the community colleges in the center. And we did a call to action, and we asked our Bay Area colleges, who wants to participate? Who wants to be a part of this movement? 11 colleges expressed interest. And this isn't for everyone. Just like entrepreneurship isn't for everyone, you have to have the right formula to make it work. But we interviewed all of the colleges, and 6 of them rose to the top. And instead of just saying, whoever wants to come participate, yeah, sign on the dotted line, we invited them to participate because we needed the right type of leadership to move this forward. We needed the doers like you all in the room. So 6 of those colleges participated, and here are the 6. Please give them a round of applause because they are risk takers. This is a work in progress. This is not something set in stone. While we are building a template for scalability, this is something where I truly appreciate many of you in the room, Merritt College, Cañada, we have Julian here, Contra Costa, I haven't seen Evan, but he raised his hand. Diablo Valley, Beth is over there. Chabot College, Miguel has a great incubator already, and he wants to be a part of this when he found out about it. And West Valley, they are so eager to serve their student body, really. And all of these community colleges are connected to communities of color, specifically Black and Brown communities. So we have East Oakland, we have East Palo Alto, we have Richmond, El Cerrito, West County, we have the Concord, we have the Monument Corridor in Concord, and we have the Flatlands in Hayward. And it's important to realize we know where these communities are. All of you know where your communities of opportunity, your communities of color are, but it's about what to do and how to serve them better. So in our initiative, we did this call to action, and one of the beautiful things about it was we asked every college to put some skin in the game. I've learned that if you ask a college to put some money where their mouth is, they're more likely to show up, and they did. And each college became a college partner. They each invested $50,000 into this initiative. Right there, we were able to pool together $300,000. And we went to the region. We put in what's called a regional joint venture. It's a unique thing to the Bay Area, a regional grant for other areas. And we asked the region, is this something that you feel that there's a need for? And the region overwhelmingly voted to support it. And we were able to pull together $700,000 in regional funds to make this happen. And that's exciting from a college perspective. But if you think about the bigger picture, that is just a drop in the bucket when you look at how many millions and billions of dollars are being spent by the state of California and the federal government. So there's an opportunity to build this even bigger. But what is in it for the community college? And this is important to drive home because when we're looking at building a template, this is really the meat and potatoes. It's building a template that creates an ecosystem where if you know of a student who wants to start a business, they can come into this incubator, they can get work experience. We're working on that, we're building that in. They can get credit, whether it's for credit or non-credit, depending on the college, for entrepreneurship, and they're able to dip their toe into the community college system because many of these entrepreneurs don't see the community college as an option. So giving them that opportunity to become a student unlocks resources for them that they could desperately need. Another piece of this, we know our role as regional directors, we know our role as project managers. We do not build curriculum. However, that doesn't mean we can't help and support build curriculum. So we are going to be producing a DACUM where we are creating a culturally competent curriculum that's focused on entrepreneurship. That will be something that is public knowledge that could be shared across California. And we're going to be creating impact reports, curriculum maps, so that the entrepreneurship faculty have a foundation that they can just pluck that information and be able to build from that. And they know right away that that's culturally competent curriculum. And then lastly, and most importantly, yesterday there was a lot of conversations about public-private partnerships, and we've had some come and go. Some have been successful, many have not. But that is something that the state of California keeps asking us to explore. There's a lot of funding attached to that, and being able to build a template that is scalable is something that we're working on right now. So the vision for success, and we've met several of these just through the work that we're doing. Short-term training, the 10-week incubator, work experience, the entrepreneurship credit, equity. I mean, this is equity in action. And then entrepreneurship. I have been beating my head against the wall when it comes to LMI data and entrepreneurship. If you've ever researched that, hair salon dressers and hair salon stylists and real estate agents are the two areas that come up. That is just one area of entrepreneurship. But SO Ventures is tracking that information. We've already been able to see a certificate be delivered to this group because we were able to say, hey, Merritt College, this is what the community of entrepreneurs needs. So the numbers and the impact. So essentially what this looks like in a nutshell is every community college, the 6 colleges in our region have 2 cohorts each. 25 entrepreneurs go through those cohorts. Black and brown entrepreneurs is our focus. Those entrepreneurs add up to 300 people being trained to start a business, getting that support system, that community. We know not all of them are going to be successful. Entrepreneurship isn't for everyone, but they have an opportunity to continue on and explore their passion at their colleges. We have committed to formalize 200 businesses in this public-private partnership. We have committed to be able to give out or earn 1,000 credit hours for these students combined. And if you look at the investment of that $700,000, we're really only looking at $2,300 per business. But the beauty of it is if they meet certain metrics, if they build a portfolio the right way, if they take advantage of the support systems that are there, they have an opportunity to access more capital to be able to build their business into something great. So at the end of the day, if you think about the economic impact that we have as a community college system in partnership with SO Ventures, a true public-private partnership, there is a potential in this first phase to generate $30 million in taxable revenue for the state of California. That is huge, but even bigger, as we mentioned before, when you build a successful business, what do?
If you want it to grow, you hire people.
And who do you hire?
You hire people that share your values, that look like you, that you think you can get along with. And our business owners, our metric for success, we're taking business owners starting with the concept less than 25K in revenue, reaching at least $150,000 in revenue, and first paying yourself a living wage and then hiring 1 or 2 people. That is our metric for success. That's why California gave us $8 million to create a model that can create employer enterprises at scale.
And they hire their cousins, they hire their brother, they hire their mother. If they, they hire people that they know, and that lifts up our communities. So we got to get through this quickly. So I'm going to hand it off to you.
Just letting you all know, right? We're entrepreneurs. You got to be a little crazy to be an entrepreneur. We just got $8 million from the state. We're operationalizing it, and we're going back for $40 more million. We have tentatively the support. You can give it up. Mia Banta, our local assembly member, just prioritized this budget request to the Black and Latino caucus. We have been meeting with legislators up and down the state who are prioritizing it in the budget request from the Black and Latino legislative caucuses. The actual kind of economics of one unit is $40,000 per business, so that each business owner can access at least $32,000 in capital. If we don't have the capital, we can't expand. Currently, the demand coming through the BACCC, we only have 200 investments. He just said we're going to incubate 300 businesses. What about, what about those other business owners?
Yep.
And we want to go beyond the Bay Area.
Mm-hmm. And so when we're looking at moving forward, phase 2, we're going to double the size of the ecosystem in the Bay region. So one action item that I have from you all, Bay region is 1/4 of the colleges in the state of California. Who else wants to partner with us? We're here. We're ready to make this happen. Clearly, we're passionate. And at the same time of doubling the ecosystem in the Bay region, we want to find our second region. And I was going to ask, can you say it louder? San Diego Imperial County.
That's a good one. But wait, who is only San Diego? Orange County? LA, that's a big one.
Ooh, LA.
Sacramento.
Sacramento. All right. So that is our ask for today. We are looking, and let me put some boundaries around this because it's important. But we can't just work with one college. While we would love to work with you, there's a critical mass. There's a critical mass in this work. So hopefully you were inspired by what we've presented today. And the goal is to at least have 4 colleges in your region that are interested in partnering. So the work today is to talk to your colleagues at this college. We know faculty buy-in is really important. We can talk about how we've approached that in the Bay region, but that's going to be a part of it. Talk to your colleagues and make it happen. I just put up all of the regional consortia on there because I didn't know if you all would yell and scream like you did. If you look at your phone, you have an opportunity to follow us and join the movement and just keep updated. So please fill that out. And if you are interested in partnering, feel free to put your information in there. We would love to connect with you. I know we're running so much out of time and we have a few questions. This is the one.
But you also, right? The conversation doesn't have to happen today. I'll be at the bar. Xavier's presenting.
Yeah, I'm presenting at 2:30 on cannabis. We were on a cannabis bus earlier. It was a lot of fun. Yeah, thank you. So let's answer a couple of questions. And then if you're hungry, just go get in line. We understand. How are Black and, it's blocked there. How are Black and Latino chambers involved? Can you quickly, 30 seconds, share?
I will say we have been talking with SBDC, the Inclusivity Project. We have been talking with the Fresno Black Metro Chamber of Commerce. We talk with the Oakland African American Chamber of Commerce. The chambers are an amazing resource. I'm meeting Frank Louis, the
Cal Asian Chamber.
Asian Chamber. I'm meeting him at the bar at 1:30 if anyone wants to meet Frank Louis. The chambers are incredibly essential. The ecosystem is not going away. It just needs to be connected.
Yes.
We got to connect SBDC's chambers.
We're going to bring it home. We're bringing it home right now. We promise we will answer your questions in an FAQ, especially if you fill out the information. We will post it somewhere. We just want to make sure we thank and recognize the people who were really in at the beginning. This is Martha Hernandez Benwanzo, and you have Alfredo in the flesh right here. And then open secret, I'm also on this entrepreneurial journey. My business partner, Audrey, has been helping us moderate the questions. We are Workforce Innovation Labs. We're the project management team behind all of this. We love innovative projects. And we just want to thank you for your attention this morning. Hopefully you were inspired to talk to your colleagues, and we would love to connect with you at the bar or outside of the bar and tell you more about our initiative. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Job Speaker is bridging the gap between education and employment for the skills-based economy. Working with community colleges across California, Job Speaker helps educators align educational resources with student-desired career choices and deploy a career-oriented infrastructure to achieve that goal. Job Speaker efficiently guides all students into and along their chosen pathway to ensure learning that prepares them for the world of work. Learn more at jobspeaker.com. Certiport, industry-recognized certifications for college and career readiness. Certiport is the leading provider of learning curriculum, practice tests, and performance-based IT certification exams that accelerate academic and career opportunities for learners. Certiport is dedicated to helping people succeed through industry-recognized certification. Our credentials are aimed at enhancing individual productivity, marketability, and value. Learn more at certiport.com.